So, um, Josh, it's been a while, man.
It
It's
has.
been like, I don't know, a year. It's been like a
Yeah,
year.
it's about
I,
a year.
I think so. It's been a year, so quite some time. I guess I'll start off with, what are you up to right now? Like, what's going on? What are you running right now? As far as in the business, what are you up to?
So I think the last time, like you said, we spoke. Well, we spoke in here and there through DMs, but I think I joined the program back in around this time in August, right?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean now I'm just staying busy, man. Just working with a couple clients out in the Bay Area, and I'm in Texas as well, so I'm just all over the place, dude.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You're in Texas, you're working with clients in the Bay Area. So that's a testament to everybody that thinks they can't recruit nationwide, which you can and you
Oh yeah,
should.
it's
So,
yeah. I think the one of my first clients was in Oregon, so it's
yeah,
just really. I don't think there's anything that should stop anybody from reaching out of state clients as well. So
right. Nothing. No, there's nothing. We're a global economy, and that's how we work now, So it's a big world out there, a lot of clients to get. So let's talk about that. Clients. I guess since like you started, how many clients or contracts, I guess, would you say ballpark have you been able to grab? How many contracts, have you signed off on?
so I would say so. To really comprehend that, when I first started, I started in the program in August.
Mm,
And I think I didn't start sending out cold emails until about September, end of
mm,
September, maybe going into October.
mm.
I remember one of the conversations we had in the group was you put me on the spot and we're like, have you been sending any cold emails out? And I think I gave you a response to saying, no, I'm waiting for the perfect moment or waiting to get certified as a veteran company.
Right.
And after that meeting, um, I went back to what I was doing, and it stuck in my mind. I'm like, what am I waiting for?
Mm,
So I finished 2020 with about 6 clients,
mm.
right?
Okay.
So from October to I think I got my first client in October. So about 6 clients, and ended up closing about a little bit over $60,000
Wow.
that year.
Beautiful. And that's just in like 2.5, 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, my first client, my first deal, I think I messaged you was about $13 and
That's
$15,000.
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
so and I was hyped about that, and it's crazy because you'll start searching and sending emails and you won't get a response, and it was very I was starting to get a little stressed out,
Hmm.
and once that first client hit, they just fell boom, 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 right,
Yep.
and I had a lot of more potential to make a lot more money,
Mm,
and I didn't. I closed what I could at that time,
mm.
and I ended up taking a couple months off because I come from a 9 to 5 job. I've never been
Yep.
able to take long breaks or anything like that, so I
Yep.
definitely enjoyed that. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you had, I mean, yeah, you had like an interesting start, but it's kind of like an average start. It's everybody's start. You know what I mean? Like everybody's working a 9 to 5 practically, and you know what I mean. And then you kind of just amped it up and said, once you started, you really started. And when it rains, it pours. 60K in 2.5, 3 months. That's nothing to laugh about. That's beyond the average American salary in, you know what I mean, like 3 months. That's crazy.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and absolutely. And actually, in that September is when I actually quit my job as well to do it full time.
there we
So
go.
the heat was on, as you could say.
Yeah, definitely. But you saw, proof of concept.
Yeah.
You had learned the whole cycle of client to candidate to placement. And then, once the cash flow starts happening, then you're like, okay, I can live on that. How I always talk about you could live on, money that you start cash flowing. And once you see proof of concept, it's kind of like you put two and two together. And that's probably when you decided to quit your job, I'm guessing.
No, I quit my job before I made money.
Oh, a risk. Okay, so you were more risky a little bit.
Yeah, I felt that, it was something that I had to do.
Mhm.
I've dedicated my whole life, well, not my whole life, but a good 6 years of my life to my previous company.
Mhm.
And it was time for a change, man. So
What did they give you back?
what was that?
What did that company dedicate back to you?
Nothing, man. I mean, what does a company dedicate to you? Maybe some retirement plan, is that?
Right,
Uh,
right. Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, that's what I always talk about, people being just a number at their company. They're meaningless. I think the quote is, this is not my quote, but the riskiest move you can make is to have a regular full-time job, because you could be replaced in a heartbeat.
oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean? And
absolutely.
hedging your bets in business and entrepreneurship is technically less risky when you look at the whole picture, because you have the opportunity of actually doing things yourself. And there's always 9 to 5s out there. Like, that's the thing people forget, which is crazy. So that's interesting. So you put a lot of faith in yourself, right? After you kind of figured this thing out, and then you went for it. Um, like, so for that year, 2020, then it was 60K. So let's say, how much revenue, or let's put it this way, even how much projected pipeline are we at? Maybe captured revenue, or like, what do you think the pipeline will be like for 2021? Like, what do you think will finish the year at?
Definitely over 6 figures.
Nice.
I'm thinking, so right now I have two placements that just took place this last Friday.
Nice.
So those payouts will be about, I think, close to $29,000.
Wow. 30K.
Yeah, so about 30K.
Yeah.
It was a technical sales manager role that paid about 140, and
Ooh,
then a customer service rep that paid about $35 an hour. So
nice.
yeah, and I think I'm charging what everybody else is around the game right now as well too. So
Right.
um, and in the actual pipeline, I have about another 75K ready to go.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
that's something too that I've learned, because in the beginning of the year I was sitting at about a $250,000 in my pipeline,
Mhm.
but it goes. I've learned something, that it's not about the quantity that you have in there. It's about what you can actually fill and
Yep.
close, right?
So true.
So I'm more happy to have this amount, knowing that I'll be able to actually close it.
Right.
Maybe in the future, as I grow, start hiring more people, I can start making that sort of money. But there's a lot of potential, man, out there, especially right now.
Definitely. The market's heating up like crazy,
It is.
crazier than I've ever seen. And I'm sure you're experiencing it too. Like, the ridiculous amount of need from clients. And that's awesome, man. I mean, like, that's right on par. You're like killing it, with that kind of pipeline. So um $250,000 pipeline starting out the year, but definitely you'll be closing around that for 2021. So that
Yeah.
sounds amazing,
And,
man.
and we're barely in August, man. So it's
Yeah.
right now, the way the market is, dude. It's easy to get clients, man. It's
Mhm.
super easy, I think that's one thing you've taught us as far as your program is, what it takes to get a client. You can't expect to message 100 people in 1 month and expect to get a client. It doesn't work that way. You
Right.
get what you put into the program, and it's all laid out there, and you just got to follow and do what's required, or do more. And
Mhm.
I think there's some heavy hitters out there. I think what I'm doing is a little bit above average, but there's definitely some heavy hitters out there.
Definitely. And I think you were always one of the people that did more, like you mentioned, you know what I mean? Like, you could follow the blueprint, you could follow the program and everything. Like you said, it's all laid out, and you took it and did more, and it's when you do less, or when you kind of do nothing really, like you said, sending 100 emails out in a month and saying, well, hey, where are my clients at? It's not going to happen like that. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, you're going to take 100 rejections minimum. That's like a joke, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have to be sending out magnitudes of that. And I'm sure, I mean, that game real well, and rejection real well. I mean, just because that comes with the territory, that's how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's part of the game, man, and you just kind of have to have that mindset that, okay, no thanks, no. Some customers or clients, they'll reply very angry or very annoyed, and you just kind of dust it off, man. Move on to the next, and
Right.
you become very thick-skinned in this game. So
Definitely. So, okay, a question for you. When you got into the game, I know you're working a 9 to 5, but just in general, for your background, did you have any recruiting, staffing, or anything in your background before you got into the program?
nothing, man. I was a CNC programmer. I've always worked for manufacturing companies,
Hmm.
and I had zero experience as the recruiter. Uh, the only time I ever dealt with the recruiter was the recruiter that actually hired me for my last position that I
Yeah.
left. And zero experience, man. Like I said, one night I was like, I can't do this 9 to 5 no more. And it was kind of when the pandemic was about to hit.
Hmm.
And at the job, everybody was stressed out. We're about to get laid off. We're about to get let go. And I was sitting in my office, and I was just like, I can't, I can't let someone else, dictate my future. And I came home that night, and I started looking up, entrepreneur videos, and I found one of your videos, and I got hooked, man. And I saw that all your content was, good. It was actually valuable. And I think I reached out to you, and I was like, hey, man, do you have a blueprint or something? And
Hmm.
you were like, yeah, I do. And that's how I signed up for the mentorship program. But zero experience, man, as a recruiter. Never done it before,
Hmm.
and just dove right in.
Yeah. Dove right in and took a really good swim, man. You dove right into the deep end.
Yeah.
Um, and let's see, I guess, what's the biggest thing you think that you took out of the program that made you super successful? Because you are super successful. I mean, anybody with a $250,000 pipeline, that's success. And anybody that can close 60K right during a pandemic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's some talent. So what's the biggest thing in the program you think that anyone, or maybe you or anyone, would take away, that is like the most solid, piece or biggest piece for you that really took it took it that far to get you successful?
Um, I was like I said, man, just the blueprint, man, just the way everything was laid out. You know,
Mm,
there's no, it's very direct. This is what you have to do. This is the way you get a client. This is the way you land a client. Follow ups. Little things that I would have, looked past. Mistakes that I would have done on my own. That program really helped me just kind of set that foundation
mm,
of what I had to do and what was required from me, to be successful. Like I said, it's just a foundation, right? And,
mm.
and foundations is what really dictates everything.
It's
So
everything.
I would just say, the direction that your program gave me.
I totally agree with you. It's that guidance piece, just the blueprint that people miss, because there's so many little things inside of the game that people don't catch on to, that when they really get that knowledge or really get into that information, I feel like that helps out a lot. So,
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, cool, man. Well, I mean, any like parting words, any last wisdom from a successful recruiter like yourself? You quit your job, man. You got this going full time now for now like a year and a half, or a year. You for a year now, you're full time recruiting.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah, a year this month.
That's awesome.
You don't really need any experience doing it. You just kind of need that work ethic, man.
Hmm.
Being an entrepreneur, starting an agency, you're gonna wear a lot of hats. I see a lot of people sometimes asking, who can I pay to work on my website? Who can I pay to do this? Um, I made my own websites. I made my own logos. So
Hmm.
you have to be ready to dive in and just put your all, put it all in, man. and anything's possible, no matter if you have any experience in this game or if, you know, you just got to put it all in, man. That's
Right.
like I said.
You heard it first from Josh. You got to make your own luck.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Good stuff, man. I appreciate it. And I think that gives a lot of knowledge to a lot of people. So I think a lot of people will definitely want to hear this story and hear about what you've done, how successful you've been, and kind of what you took away from everything. And no doubt we'll probably do another interview when you cap up and you're going to be at higher tier numbers and everything.
Yeah, man. This is just the beginning, dude.
Just the surface.
Just the beginning. You know, I see the potential now. Like I said, you know, follow the modules, and then you kind of just add on to it. You know, make it your own, and you know, I see the potential now. So it's pretty exciting to know what the future holds for me.
Sky's the limit, bro.
Absolutely true.
Sky's the limit. All right, man. Well, we'll see you on the next interview that we do with you. I appreciate your time for doing this one.
Absolutely.
So definitely appreciative of that. And we'll catch up soon. All right.
All right, man. Take care, brother.
All right, man. Take care.